Good afternoon and welcome, Dr. Dirk. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you very much. It's a beautiful day here in Seattle.
Yes, and we're here to talk about your health blueprint seminar. But before that, tell us a little bit about your background, Dr. Dirk.
Professionally, I've been a chiropractor for over 25 years, and I became a chiropractor after having open heart surgery when I was 27. I decided I wanted to get into a field where I was helping people be healthy without drugs and surgery. And yes, open heart surgery was wonderful for me, but if I could help people prevent that, that would be awesome. And I had been in my life, I was told when I was 15 I could die from strenuous activity. I ignored that instruction and was actually started racing bicycles and was Missouri state champion in a particular event in 1983 at the age of 20. But when I was 27, I had surgery. And after that, I became a chiropractor. And that process has been great for me because at first I was studying the body and physically, how do I help the body be in a better form and fix posture, because posture affects every physical function. But that was only one piece of it, right? And then there's also nutrition and what we eat. And of course, that's very important. And yet you see a million diets out there and everybody's doing their specific thing. And most people maybe lose weight, but then they gain it all back. So there's something more than just diet. And that led me to, of course, there's exercise too, because everybody's going to the gym and doing this, that, and the other thing. So those are the kind of the three main components. But I realized in looking at people that didn't exercise, but were really healthy, or didn't eat maybe particularly well, that were healthy, or that ate really, really well, but weren't very healthy, and looking at people that had really lousy posture, but were doing decent, or people who seemed to have good posture, but really weren't doing very well. And I'm looking at all these and all these exceptions, and I realized that there's a whole nother piece to health. And in the 90s, or actually the early 2000s, I studied Hakomi, which is a body-centered mindfulness therapy. I studied that for 2 years, and that started a process of understanding people from the inside, understanding myself from the inside. And really all of this is generated by me learning about myself and experiencing this in my own body and life. And that really took off about a year and a half ago when I started doing many other things around my emotional, psychological development, because I had had depression on and off for the better part of 50 years. And I just decided I was done with it. And I made some significant changes, and I made I did some things that were very radically out of the box for me. And my life has changed dramatically, and it's so much better. And now the only conversation not the only, but the main conversation I want to be in is, how do I help myself continue to grow and open and expand in my life? And how do I get in other people into that conversation of growing and expanding in our lives? So your health blueprint is kind of a summary of that. And it takes the physical structure, condition, nourish, or posture, exercise, and nutrition. And it sort of breaks down the social ideas of the standard ideas of that, and shows where they're not really serving us. And it replaces that with ideas that really do serve us. And then it also takes that and says, okay, well, there's that part. Now, how do we take our internal state and our internal condition, use that to see where we are in a bigger way, and then build on that so we can really get to the health and the life that we really want.
Wow. Tell me now more about the seminar itself on your health blueprint.
Yeah, so the seminar is it's going to be a 9-hour or 8-hour 9 to 5, 9 to 6 p.m. seminar. And the first part of the seminar is going to be about kind of the information and that I used and how it all relates, because your structure, your posture, for instance, really impacts your exercise. And it also impacts your health and well-being, and your diet impacts your exercise, and your exercise impacts your diet, and everything your exercise impacts your posture, right? Your diet impacts your posture, because all of these things also have a psychological aspect. And if our diet's breaking us down, then it's going to break down our posture. We're going to go into Charlie Brown's depressed stance, or, all these things are all interconnected. So what the first part of the seminar is to show these different aspects, the foundations of health, I call them: structure, condition, nourish, and explain those, as well as show the interconnection of those things, so that each of us can understand that, oh, okay, these are components of our lives. And we use these words: exercise, diet, nutrition, whatever. We use those words to describe aspects, but they're just descriptions. In the aggregate, they're all combined and they're all together. So with that understanding, we can then start looking at our own lives. And that's really kind of sort of the second part of the seminar, is worksheets and working in pairs, maybe in trios, or even in sharing in the group, what is up for us and how our lives is showing us, not just in the mirror of how we look or don't look, or what we can or can't do physically, but in other ways, emotionally, where we're stuck, where we're having troubles in our relationships or in our career or in some way with ourselves. Looking at our external environment to see how that reflects on our internal blueprint, which is the collection of ideas that we have of how we're supposed to be. That's the blueprint. And the beauty of it is that blueprint, once we see it, especially see it in a deeper way, kind of take ourselves out of ourselves, if you will, and look in at ourselves, at that blueprint. When we do that from a more objective place, now we can go, oh, okay, this is part of why I do this, and this is part of why I do that. So if I change this internal state, this internal wiring, this internal idea about myself, then the external will change. And the external in one form is our health. It's also our wealth. It's also our relationships. It's also, so many other things.
Excellent. What makes this unique, from all the other things that are, what sets this apart from everything else? I guess maybe that's a better question.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And from my perspective, and I've been to a lot of seminars myself, as we all have, and those seminars are typically trying to get me to buy into an idea or a program or something that is that's kind of a fixed thing, right? If I go to a gym, walk by, there's a new LA Fitness that's opening by my office. And I walked by there the other day and they said, hey, they looked at me like, hey, you work out. It's like, sort of. And they're like, you should join the gym. And I'm like, well, my life is my workout. And they're like, huh? It's like, my life is my workout. I'm working on people, standing for my work, 20 hours a week or however often I work on people. And I ride my bike and I like to run and I, push a wheelbarrow and move dirt and gravel and I do whatever I do. And so my life is my workout. I don't really go to a gym. And that really confuses people because I'm very height and weight proportionate and I'm strong enough for my size and I'm active and I'm, and it confuses people. And so this seminar is not that. I'm not selling a workout program. I'm not selling a diet. If anything, if I could sell anyone and everyone who comes to this seminar anything, it's that you in the center of your life are what drives your life and all of your outcomes. Me in the center of my life is driving all of my outcomes. And me getting to know me is the only solution to making my life better. And I believe that each of us getting to know each of us within ourselves and learning to love more of ourselves is the solution to the problem that we have or the struggles that we're having. So that's going to be different for each and every one of us. So, and I also believe that we come in to this world and we get a lot of programming, right? If I have a headache, I must take an ibuprofen. You know, we know we mustn't, but most people go to an ibuprofen or some kind of pain reliever because you got to get rid of the headache. Well, that's a program because you don't have to take that. And there are probably better solutions for most people and da, 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 da. But unless we see through the programming, we can't change the programming. So this seminar is really different in that I want to help people see the programming and then free them up to make another different choice or create a different program for themselves if they desire. It is not for me to say what anybody wants to or doesn't want to do with their programming or their lives or anything else. That's not the purpose of this seminar whatsoever. So I have no agenda in terms of like, well, here's the program and you're going to follow the program. And no. The agenda is to help people understand themselves in a very different way than I think anybody else is talking about it, or most people anyway, and in a way that frees each of us to go about our life with a greater understanding in the way that we choose and take command of our own well-being and take ownership of it. Not just command, but ownership of it, that my condition of whatever it is my responsibility. And I'm the one who got it to where it is. So it's different that way, but it's also really empowering. It's super empowering. And to have some of the tools that I teach, they're not complicated, but they're really, really powerful.
What can participants expect to take away from this seminar?
Well, I think from that, number one, I hope they take away some hope, or a lot of hope, and empowerment, and an understanding that they're not crazy for thinking that they're wrong for not following XYZ diet and having success at it, or following XYZ exercise program and not having success at it if they've had that experience, which I think we've all had at different times. That doesn't make them wrong or crazy or, weak or incompetent or any of those things. That they're not failures. Those have not been failures. Those are learning tools to realize that you are different than whatever those things were. What motivates you and how you function in the world is different than those programs. And that is a success. So in addition to that, the takeaway is a higher level understanding of who they are, and maybe some new ideas or new stories as to how these pieces can relate together in their life, so they can go, okay, what do I want to do? Not what do I think I'm supposed to do? Not what is quote unquote right to do, but what do I choose to do based on some new ideas and maybe some new perspective? So empowerment.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say that the seminar is scheduled for Saturday, July 30th in Rainier, Washington. Starts at 9 and ends at 6 p.m. And it's open to 25 people, so people will want to register as soon as possible. You're going to provide the contact information for that at the end of this video. Before we go today, though, Dr. Dirk, I would like to know, is there anything else you would like the audience to know about your very unique Health Blueprint seminar?
Well, I think that covers it really, really well. I know that there's going to be specific questions that people have. I think that we're going to open registration at 8:30, and it's an amazing venue and that's going to be awesome. And we'll definitely have beverages and snack foods available. But I think that really covers it. And I want to thank you, Anna Maria, for your time and devotion to helping this information get to people, because I know you're on a mission to help people be as healthy as they can be. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dirk. It has been a pleasure speaking with you today, and look forward to seeing you very soon.
Thank you very much.